Testing one, two, three. This is Dr. Alex Avila with Love University. I'm a clinical psychologist, educator, and author. And this is Love University. And our purpose here is to help you live with passion, purpose, and power. How to love yourself, others, and higher nature. Each week we're bringing a different topic to how to improve your self-esteem and your relationships with others. And today our topic is something very practical. And people have asked me about talking about this idea. And this is how to have a great first date and make a great first impression. In our society today, there are more applications and opportunities for people to date more frequently through internet and other methods. But the hard thing is how to find the right person, how to weed through all these different people, and also how to have a great first date interaction so you can lead possibly to a wonderful relationship, a beautiful relationship, and which is really the goal of a lot of people. So we're going to first talk about first date attraction. What attracts people to each other? For example, men and women. And we see that there's biological aspects to this. There's something called evolutionary psychology that talks about the traits that are attractive to each other in a biological sense, in terms of what men and women want from each other. For example, research shows that men are attracted to women that can bear more children biologically, and they may be younger, as a result have more children. They have clear eyes and skin, proportioned body, full lips, and also have kind of a beauty and a youth and a healthiness about them. And of course, a lot of our beauty products, billion-dollar industry, is geared for women. Also cosmetic surgery for them to enhance these attributes that are so-called desirable. And for women, it's a very similar. They're looking for men also who have characteristics biologically that indicate health, the ability to provide and protect. For example, broad shoulders, athleticism, a deep voice, creativity, and success. Financial resources have traditionally been things that women are attracted to. Now, nowadays, with more women in the workforce, things are changing somewhat. But these are, according to evolutionary psychologists, biological factors that are somehow unconscious in what makes people attracted to each other. The other thing that's also attracted to each other is similarities. I've written some books, Guy Types and Love Types, that talks about compatibility among personality types. And what we find is that similarities usually are what attract each other long term. For example, similarities in education, socioeconomic status, and intelligence. In fact, some research shows that your brain chemistry is also similar to the people you're attracted to in terms of long-term mating. One kind of brain chemical called dopamine, that people have more of that, they feel more elated and they seek rewards. We call those excitement seekers in my new book, Guy Types. People that like maybe bungee jumping and exciting activities, maybe risk takers. Other kind of individuals have an excess of serotonin, which gives you more of a relaxed and comfortable feeling. And these we call the security seekers. These people are more traditionally oriented. They want to feel secure in a relationship, and they don't like to take risks. So the two different brain chemistries may not get along as much in terms of that. Even people that have psychological disorders often tend to attract each other. People that have schizophrenia or even bipolar tend to choose mates that are similar. Now, other factors that we look at in attraction is what I call expansion. Having a certain sense of charisma that fills the room, that fills the space. They find that people that have their photos on dating internet sites, that they fill up the room. There's something about their posture, their eyes that shine, often get more dates. They're more attractive in terms of their photo because of this persona they have, this charisma. The other thing that can also increase attraction is time spent with someone. Now, you might have a friend over a period of time that is just a platonic friend, but maybe there's one night where you go out and have a couple of drinks and you brush your hand against theirs and there's some chemistry and there's some tingling sensation. And it just happened just like that overnight, it seemed. They say it's kind of like a sleeping cat. A cat doesn't want to be budged when they're sleeping, but maybe it just wakes up suddenly and jumps up. So love can actually happen sometimes like that. And of course, confidence is very attractive. People that, men and women that have certain competence, intelligence, success, and careers can also be considered to be very attractive. And it's good to work on your attributes, improve yourself as well, so you have that confidence. There's also what we call a first date timeline. Let's say you meet someone maybe on application or internet or maybe in person through a friend, and you have a first date. Now, we look at the different stages of this. First of all, there's anticipation. You may be excited about it. What should I wear? Where are we going to go? What is this person going to be like? But at the same time, you might have anxiety, and maybe the anxiety comes from not being ready. Maybe you just came out of a relationship. You're still brokenhearted. It may not be the right time for you. So you need to analyze that. Ask yourself, am I ready for dating? Once you meet the person and you get through some small talk, the next stage can be comfort. Maybe you start to feel comfortable with the person. You've broken the ice. You start to enjoy their company. Or maybe there's something about them that bothers you. You're irritated about their tone of voice, some idiosyncrasy they have. It's a mannerism or gesture that kind of puts you off. If you get past this stage, there's curiosity. Now you want to find out more about this person. You might ask them certain questions. They might ask you questions. And you might enjoy their laugh. You might like their smile. You might enjoy that they're respectful and courteous towards you. Or on the other hand, you might find that they're disinterested in you. They may be looking around the room, checking their cell phone. Or you might be disinterested in them. Maybe they're boring to you. You don't find them interesting in any way or fascinating. Now, let's say you get past that stage and, things are going well and it's time to go. So you might want to have a great ending to the date. And at this point, you kind of feel reluctant, to leave them because you enjoyed the company. Maybe there's a little sexual tension. Your hands brush up against each other, maybe even a kiss. Or on the other hand, maybe it's going badly. Maybe the date speeds up in time. And you say, well, I got something to do in the morning, or they say they're busy, or they have to go and they're tired. And that could be the end of the date. And let's say at the end of it, let's say we'll call the follow-up. Maybe a day or two later, one or both of you will say, hey, I really enjoyed it. I'd like to see you again. Or maybe they don't respond for a period of time, and apparently they're not interested. Or maybe the opposite is they respond too much. They text you and call you, immediately after the date and the next day or two, and they seem very needy. So that's something also to be wary of or to avoid. Now let's talk a little bit about first date tips. But before I do that, I want to bring in my producer here, Reggie. Now, Reggie, I don't know if people know this, but you kind of set me up last week with this idea of the great first date because you told me you were going to be on a date. I know you're a little bit shy and introverted and you don't go out a lot, and this might be one of the first dates you've had in a while. So, Reggie, tell me what happened.
Well, they flaked.
They flaked? What do you mean, Reggie?
I tried to confirm with them and they never got back to me. So, yeah.
Okay, that's kind of disappointing. So, you had a date. Tell me about this person. How did you set up the date?
Well, I mean, I felt like they were very friendly to me, more so than people are, and so I was like, well, I'm potentially interested, so I'll ask.
Okay, so were they laughing at your jokes, or did they like your haircut? What is it about that person?
They were laughing when I wasn't saying anything. So.
Okay, they weren't laughing at you, right? I mean, no. Okay, so they were laughing with you, and you thought she liked you, and then what did you set up with this person? So
I asked her out to coffee, something nice and neutral. I don't drink, so I didn't say like, "Oh, can I get you a drink?" Sometimes so I said coffee, so it's understood.
Okay. And then what happened? She never called you back, or she never responded?
Yeah. We exchanged phone numbers. I texted her next week, before the date to confirm, and nothing.
Poor Reggie. How do you feel, Reggie?
Well, I forgot about it until today.
You forgot about it.
So
okay.
That's good.
So bringing back your bad memories, Reggie. Don't cry on me. Okay. I know it can be a little disappointing. It's not easy to face rejection, but I do want to congratulate you that you took a step. You actually asked someone out. Which is not easy, especially if you're introvert or shy, and you're learning something. That's important. So let's talk a little bit about first date tips. How do we really make a first date a great one, and also leading to a relationship? Because for many of us, that relationship, that beautiful, compatible, romantic, loving, relationship is what many of us want. For example, learn how to enhance your strengths, minimize your weaknesses. So Reggie, maybe you're good at, you're good in producing, maybe you're an artistic kind of guy. Other things about you're intellectual, so focus on those things. In your communication, maybe the activities that you take the person on. Maybe instead of a coffee date, you can take her to a film festival, or something related to books or films because you like that. Minimize some of your maybe weaknesses in some ways. Maybe some people are a little bit self-absorbed or maybe a little bit needy. We can find yourself being a little bit too needy to connect with somebody. And really what people want are three things in relationships. They want to be appreciated, number one. That you really listen to them, you ask them questions about themselves, and you really want to get to know them. A sense of connection. They want to feel that you're connected to them, that you maybe have similar interests and you're compatible. And people want a sense of elevation. They want to know that they can become in some ways better or learn something by being with you. So if you can teach them something, if you can enhance something about themselves, they will feel great. So those are the things you want to think about in terms of yourself. What are my talents and abilities? How can I express that more clearly to people? Also, you want to know your goals. What are your goals in dating? For some people, it's sexual experience. It's a short-term romantic adventure. For some people, it's long-term relationship, maybe marriage, maybe a companionship. So you want to start knowing that from the very beginning when you go out with that person. What is it that you're looking for? And see if they're also on the same page. Before you go out on your first date, maintain a positive state of mind. Whether it's meditation, taking a warm bath, reading, listening to music, even journaling, whatever it is that makes you feel relaxed, playing with your animal. is something you need to do. So you go to that first date, not nervous. I mean, everyone has a little nervousness, but in a fairly calm and confident state of mind. Something important also is pick a fun environment, something where it's active, and also a time limit, where it could be taking some yogurt at a yogurt shop, taking a little walk, going to a street fair, karaoke, taking a beginning dance class, or maybe even playing some games, going to the arcade, miniature golf, or even going on a go-kart, or perhaps even wine tasting. Something that you might enjoy yourself and they might enjoy, that you know something about, that it's a fun activity where you can have good conversation. And it's a short period of time. You don't want to overdo the date. When you're on the date, it's good to create rapport. And the rapport is by listening to them, maybe asking a few questions, but be careful. Don't ask too many questions. Some people feel that they're being grilled in a date and asked a lot of questions. And also don't treat your date like a therapist or a counselor. Sometimes you tell them all your problems, unless they're a therapist and you're a therapist, and then that's okay, because you can both talk about your own psychological things. But most people want to have a fun and light date. So try not to overburden your dating partner with a lot of things at the very beginning. And also there's something that we can do to create rapport. There's a research that shows that if you nod your head 3 times and look at someone in the eye, they will be more open to talking to you about important things. So they're going to see that you're attentive and listening to them. Now, you don't do this in a manipulative way, but you do it in a real sincere way and develop what we call empathy. Empathy is the idea that you want to put yourself in someone else's shoes and really understand them. My definition of love is a deep understanding of another. And this can start as a beginning, as early as the first date. When you start to ask them a few questions, they ask you some questions, you start to get to know their personality and their nonverbal gestures and their verbal gestures, and kind of really understand that person. And hopefully this will blossom over more dates and more time. And eventually that could be your ideal mate, your soulmate, the person you can be compatible with and have a long-term relationship or marriage. It may take a while. One of our guests here that was very popular, Wendy, said she went on 121 first dates, something like that. And eventually she found her husband after all these different dates. So it could take some time. And when you're on the date with a person, test the romantic waters. You might sit a little closer, lean in. You might give them a little bit of a bold compliment. You look, do you always look that great in a t-shirt or the jeans? Something like that. And you might lean in and see, you might have some romance, a little, maybe a kiss or holding hands or something like that. See how open they are to that. And at the very end, be honest. Maybe you don't feel this is the right person for you. Maybe you're not compatible. And you might tell them in a nice way, you're really a great person. I really enjoyed it. But, I don't think we're really compatible. I don't think this is going to work out. You'll be happier with someone else. And this actually is a great thing to do. If you do it obviously in a courteous way and kindly, because you open the door for them to find someone and also for you to find your compatible partner. Many times people waste a lot of time and energy on people that are not right for them because they're afraid of being alone and lonely. They have a little empty space inside, so that first person that seems to kind of like them, they stick with that person over time, and then it gets involved into a long-term relationship, and then they're unhappy and the person that's with them is unhappy, but they don't know what to do. It's like people fall into relationships many times in a very unconscious, automatic way instead of actually realizing what really, truly makes me happy. What makes the other person happy? How can we connect and create positivity in our relationships? So Reggie, you're a little disappointed, but you said you forgot about it. But still, we always have to learn from our experiences. What do you think you can learn from this experience? So you set up a date. You haven't had one in a long time, but you learned something. What did you learn?
Well, I am learning to focus on the way I interpret other people's behavior. Like what I think may make sense to me, okay, like I said, okay, this girl's approaching me, going on the way to approach me, laughing when I'm not saying anything or whatever. I think it's fair to assume she likes me to some degree. I can't let that, I gotta be sure, okay, well, am I sure? Is there anything else I'm not noticing? Okay,
Reggie, so you're in what we call the friend zone, and you want to find out if you're in the romantic zone. Yeah. So you have to test the space. Mm-hmm. So let's say, Reggie, that you might make it even a little compliment. Let's say that, something romantic compliment. And let's say that she's here right now. Mm-hmm. What would you say to her? Let's say, you want to flirt with her a little bit. Give me a phrase you could say to her.
Oh, I like that shirt you're wearing.
Okay, well, that's okay, Reggie, but you got to go more than that. You got to say, do you always look so pretty in shirts like that? Really? Do you always look so, enticing when you wear those slippers or the little shoe? Yeah. Now, when you say that, she'll have to say, wait a minute, he kind of likes me a little romantically. Do I like him romantically? So you kind of put yourself on the line a little bit. Now, it's a little bit of a risk, but if she likes you and romantically or interested in you, then that's going to open the door. So that's something to think about, Reggie. is to put a little more of that romantic flavor in it, right? Now, we talked before about being a little bit of an actor. Okay, so who's your favorite actor?
Probably Gary Oldman.
Okay, Gary Oldman. All right, so tell me a little bit about his voice. How does he sound?
It depends on who he's playing, but
Let's say he's playing a romantic figure. Let's say he's a big shot.
okay.
Okay, give me a little Gary Oldman. How does he sound?
Do you always look so beautiful in that red skirt?
Oh, Reggie, that is pretty enticing. I can see a girl would fall for you just just like that. This is good. Now, Reggie, you don't have to be fake or phony or artificial when you do this stuff, but you can practice in the mirror. Practice with a little bit of a different voice. Maybe stand up a little bit straighter. Maybe say a couple of things that are a little bit risky for you, like a compliment or something like that. You might want to try maybe touching her hand, see how she reacts. Take her hand. Do something like that. And then those little things, will, in a sense, give her the idea, and also you the idea, is there romantic chemistry, right? That energy that's there. And that will get you out of the friend zone a little better. Now, Reggie, are you going to try that this week?
For sure.
Okay, whether it was with her or maybe some other friend that the lady friend, that you want to get to know. And that way you're going to break out of your shell a little bit. And I want to have a success story. Because remember we talked about this, Reggie? We said, I'm going to give you a 30-day first date challenge. You have 30 days to get a first date. Now, how far back ago was that when I gave you that?
Probably like 20 days.
Okay. Okay. Reggie, you got 10 days left. Okay, and I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you a prize, Reggie. If you are able to obtain that first date, it's going to be on me. I'm going to pay your way to any date that you want here in Southern California. So, Reggie, tell me, where would you like to go on a date here in Southern California? Now, Reggie, don't tell me Hawaii or Paris. That's a little bit beyond our scope. But tell me, where would you like to go on a date with this lady that I'm gonna pay for it if you can do it within 10 days?
Wow. Whoa. Maybe Aquarium of the Pacific, something like that.
Okay, which is a nice aquarium here in the Orange County, Southern California area.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have a little dinner place, right? We can have dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe some seafood. But do you want to eat seafood after seeing some fish?
Probably go to the Chili's down the street, but that works too.
All right, a little bit of hamburgers or something or a steak. Okay, well, that's it, Reggie. So let's shake. I'm going to shake your hand right now. Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to cover that for you. And I want you to practice everything we talked about today, Reggie. Whether it's the first date attraction, expand yourself, develop a little bit of your charisma, personality. Think in a positive way, anticipate positively. Think of curiosity for your date, having a great ending. And also follow up in a quality way where they know that you're interested and you can follow up with them. And enhance your strengths. Find something that you like to do. Apparently you enjoy sea aquariums and fishes and things like that. So you can talk about the biological side of the fish and different aspects of it. Maintain a positive state before you go out. Maybe meditate or relax, listen to music. And you've already picked a fun event, so I think that will be a great opportunity. Create rapport with the person. Listen to them. Ask a few questions, but not too many. And finally, Reggie, test the romantic waters. Okay? Take her hand. Sit close to her. See what she wants to do. And maybe you might get a first kiss. How does that sound, Reggie?
I like it.
Okay. All right, Reggie. So I'm looking forward to that. So this has been Love University. Anticipate those of you that do want to start a great relationship, know that everything leads to the eventual journey, but you need to take the first step. The first step is that first encounter, the first meeting. It can be a little bit anxiety provoking and stressful. And they say that actually males have more stress than females when it comes to first dates. But regardless, is you want to develop a confident persona. You want to develop the ability that you're going to just get to know the person. You're going to think of the process instead of the result. So you're going to think, I want to get to know another human being. I want to, learn about them. And regardless of whether it works out as a date or a relationship, maybe we can be friends or maybe it was just a one-time encounter. But I'm going to learn something from that. I'm going to be a better person as a result. So until next time, this has been Love University. Put away your books, your pencils, your pens. Now we are coming into summertime. So it's time to go out and meet new people if you're looking for a relationship or maybe to enhance your love that you already have by taking them to beautiful places in any way you want. Until next time, Dr. Alex Avila, Love University.